Hi, Daniel.
Adam, hi.
Hi. Daniel, are you forced into any changes on Wednesday night? Do you want to make any changes for Wednesday night?
We will see. So the turnaround is not too bad due to it's again a home game, and we have at least 3 proper nights of sleep in between the games. But could also be that we rotate a little bit. Yes, in terms of injuries, it's a bit difficult at the moment. So with Brennan Aronson looked okay today. He got a hit against his ankle, and it will be a late call with him. So nothing major so far to confirm, but definitely a late decision if he's available or not. At the moment, I would be a bit carefully optimistic because it looked not too bad today, but it still will be a late decision. And Mano Solomon is also doubt. He was complaining about some hamstring problems today. He felt it in the end of the game, so we'll have to assess him a bit more. So I think it's a bit doubtful if he's really available. So could be that he's out. So at the moment, I would say 50-50, and we'll know this. Latest then on Wednesday morning. Yes, and apart from this, no new.
As we've discussed, you've got a lot of talent available for you in those wide areas, Dan. We talked about in those wide areas, Dan. We talked about it a lot. Wilfried Gnonto, he's now 100 games into his time at Leeds, and for a 21-year-old, that's a good amount of games. It's international. When we spoke to him this season, I think it's fair to say that he's probably felt he hasn't hit the level that he wants to. So what are you working on to get him to where he needs to be?
Well, overall, first of all, congratulations to Willie, and that he has my trust and my backing is also clear. I'm not sure, but I don't think there's any winger or offensive player who started more games than Wilfried Gnonto for us during the season. I think he was involved in many starting lineups. Obviously, not in the last games anyhow. Then he was also sometimes just on the bench, but this is also due to more or less the championship. 46 games. Sometimes you have also a little dip in form or little period when you need to be rested, perhaps even a bit more. So you can't play all 46 games. Overall, I'm happy with his development as a person and also as a player. He overtakes much more responsibility. He gets more and more professional, and also he gets much more mobile also on the pitch and is more involved, also like not too static, like a winger who's just waiting to get the ball and then he's there with his action. I think he's much more involved meanwhile and much more lively and adventurous, and also overloading areas, also less predictable in comparison perhaps to also to last season. So I think I like how he develops as a player. The only thing that is lacking a little bit at the moment with the end product, this is something that he can add. So goals, assists. I think at the beginning of the season he was pretty much on it. In the last weeks he was a bit unlucky also in a few situations there. This is just the only thing that has to come back to his game. So his workload is really good. His also appearance on the training pitch, always in a good mood, really top teammate. I like his development as a player. The only thing that is missing at the moment to reach his top level again are a bit the end products, the goals and assists. Yes, and he has also competition in his positions, players who are delivering in these areas with goals and assists. This is also one of the reasons why he's perhaps not each and every minute on the pitch, but overall I'm pretty happy what Willie's doing, and I'm backing him also that he will find also his goal scoring boots again, and then that he can assist and deliver a few more end products again also in the upcoming weeks, because overall he's on a good path.
And because of what you've told us about, there's a doubt over Brendan, there's obviously a doubt over Mana, then have you had to adjust training to allow for that then already ahead of the Wednesday game, to try somebody like Willie at 10, who you talked to before, and others say?
Not today, because today it was obviously for the players who were involved yesterday. It was more like a recovery session, not really a tactical session where you could put lots of load in or whatever. It was just a recovery session, and to support this, to get them fresh again. So today it was more or less like a small group of training. So it's then not possible to work on team tactical behavior that much. It was just the players from the bench plus the players who didn't make it into the squad, more or less like outside, and in terms of a team training. So, but the other group was then not involved in this intense team training. Tomorrow is more or less the only session that we have then together where we can work a little bit on it. But it's not like we will just have a session just in order to, perhaps try one player or just do a session, especially for number 10 or whoever is then perhaps missing, something like this. So we try to be there with a proper team session in order to, prepare all of the lads more or less for the Norwich game, because we can't afford just to give a session away just in order to try out just one player in a special situation. So it won't be the case that we have to adapt too much to this. So it's more important to prepare in general for Norwich.
Norwich, it's fair to say, look, every side has injuries and suspensions, and they've got the top scorer suspended. They have a load of injuries. Do you sense, Daniel, in all honesty, this is a really good time to take them on, because they seem to be creaking really in terms of players available?
I'm pretty careful to label it like this, because quite often after 1 or 2 or 3 poor results, you're highly motivated. Then also, like, especially in the game when they have perhaps not that much pressure in the away game, Elland Road, no one expects really too much, and also like to change the momentum again. And I expect them to be highly motivated. We have played against them quite a lot in the last season, also in the beginning of the season. Were all more or less tight games, apart from the second leg in the semi-final, the playoffs. All the other games were really tight. They're a really good group, a group also who plays brave and with intensity. I would compare them a bit also like with Sheffield Wednesday, perhaps, who also go for it and play with intensity and also want to be offensive and want to press high and have also exciting young players. I think for me it's more or less in the similar area on the table, like Sheffield, and they're also looking. I think they will be desperate to look also perhaps for a late push into the playoffs. I think it's fair to say that they were struggling in the last weeks due to some injuries or not availability of some key players, but I'm also sure right now Josh Sargent is back, who was and is their main striker, top striker in this league. I think it will be pretty beneficial for them to have him back available. So in the last weeks he was not there. Also Borja Sainz will come back at some point, and all the others. I think they were struggling a bit in terms of results and performances due to not have their key players available, but they're still a pretty dangerous side. Also good mix out of experienced players and exciting young players. So still a side that I rate really high, and a bit like Sheffield. So of course we also want to be successful in this game, but a bit like Sheffield was the perfect scoreline for us, but it was still a tight game, and we have to be there in these decisive moments. And it will be the same against Norwich. So I expect also like a difficult, tight game, but we have to make sure in the correct moments we are there and defend really well and also use our chances. So I expect a quite similar game, I have to say.
Finally, for me, Daniel, you talk about the club being awake in the window. How's the dynamic working with it's not a brand new recruitment team, but Alex Davis is involved now. There's a new role, if you like, or more responsible for Adam Underwood. How's that working with you when it comes to recruitment or letting players out?
Yes, really well, I have to say. So we know each other on a personal level also longer. So I've worked with Adam together, especially in this role, responsible for the academy and everything, and also with Alex as a scout. We had also conversations last season. Right now, of course, even more regular and more intense, and a bit more like really about also targets or what we do with the squad. But I have to say also credit to them. What I like also about them is, like I said, so they are more or less like club developed. They are one of our own since years also with the club. So perfect on a personal level, but also I like a lot that they really have white blood in their veins, and they do everything for the club in order not to think about, okay, right now I've got a new role and right now I want to excel in the role and I enjoy perhaps to be a bit more in the spotlight. No, they're still just thinking about Leeds United, what we want to achieve, and this is what I like a lot. So really good conversations, and they're doing really well in their new jobs. Absolutely.
It's not the best time with injuries in defence to Pascal potentially, but is James De Bayo maybe looking to get out on loan this month, do you think, like Charlie has?
Well, we have allowed it to Joffy Gellert and to Charlie Crew. I think it's also important that we're not overdoing it, because we also need some young talents, and especially also centre-back position at the moment with Pascal out and And also we spoke about the availability of Max Wöber was also not that great so far in the last months. I'm a bit careful with doing this. So sometimes it definitely makes sense also to give a young player a loan and the experience to grow his personality and also to get this game time. At some point it will be also beneficial for James perhaps. But at the moment it's also like we have to make sure that also in terms of numbers and also quality numbers, the group is not getting too small. So yes, it's a possibility, but just I would say at the moment just a small possibility. And if we would have a decision in this direction, it would be just for the last days in the window. At the moment, as it stands, I would rule it out.
You're very, very busy in terms of matches, almost 2 a week at the moment. But Junior, any conversations with him about his future yet? We've talked maybe a few weeks ago about his contract being expiring in the summer. Any chats about that with him, his future?
No, too many matches for that at the moment, and also like during his rehab, anyhow, I wanted to concentrate him right now after his rehab also to concentrate on finding his rhythm, his confidence back, getting his first appearances, finding his way back, and January is not the time to speak more or less like about something like this. Is also like, recruitment is pretty busy. There will be time also like and more relaxed times during the season to speak about it. So nothing to speak about it right now.
You've been here 18 months now, but we've never really spoken about your backroom staff much. I know that Chris is involved in a lot of the fitness side and Ed is involved with the goalkeepers, but Christopher and Eddie, we don't really know much about sort of their specific role. So how do they help you? What do they bring to your backroom staff and their relationship with the players?
It's also good that they are not that much on the spotlight, so they can concentrate on the proper work. Anyhow, should be enough that I have to come around for so many press conferences, all the answers. No, obviously it's good to have a group who is all on the same page. I work with all of them since years, so I'm pretty careful also in picking my staff members and I want to have the best possible staff members in terms of quality, in terms of personality, and I think I've got a perfect blend, a perfect mix, all in different areas. Christo Mogala, more like a head of performance who works together pretty close with our physios, with our sports science on the fitness level. Obviously we've got Eddie as a traditional assistant coach who is also overseeing then also special parts of the game, and also Christopher John. More or less like he leads also the analyzing department, so like the analyzing the opponents, but also our own games, and for me it's important also it's more like we discuss also a lot and I want their opinions, and also sometimes controversial. It's quite often, to be honest, controversial, because it's important to have this tension and to get other perspectives and other views. But still, it's more or less like a team. So even with eye contact, we know each other what we want to have, and it's important because you have to lead a group of 30 players and more or less nearly the same amount of stuff also year round. And if you're just all alone responsible for this, you can't do this. So you need more or less in each and every area persons who have your trust and do it also like in your way. So that we bring it really into the heads and to the hearts of the players and to the staff members what we want to have, and meanwhile I have to say not just them but all the others are also like really on the same page or just can praise our staff here at Thorpe Arch. I think we have a perfect blend and also like on a personal level great spirit, great togetherness. There would be so many persons to mention, like Henry, who's doing a fantastic job together with his physio. So how he really excels also in this department is perfect. But and all the other departments, Elise, who sees over the nutritionist department. So it feels like she's working 24 hours and in the quality is unbelievable. So I've got really excellent persons in more or less each and every area and just can praise them. I have to make sure that I work on the same level like them in their department. So there's no doubt about their qualities and their work rate. So the only question mark is about me. So I have to make sure that I'm pretty diligent and work also on the same level. And if I reach these levels, then we have a good chance also to be successful as a club.
Hi, Daniel. So, Junior Firpo and Ili Gruev have come back from injury recently. How far off are they potentially ready to start a game, do you think?
Each and every training day here at Thorpe Arch is beneficial for them and also important for them. And also each and every minute. So I think the 25 minutes or 28, I think it was in the end with the added time for Ilya were also pretty important for him. Also Junior got a few minutes also in the cup game was beneficial. Obviously after being out for such a long time, it's then also not that easy to be back, but there were also players who has played many games, especially Ilya, has played more or less in this calendar year so many, or in 2024 so many games. So his injuries helped him a little bit to come back. Junior has also played many games, but had also before then perhaps an injury CV, so we have to be a bit careful with him. And it's also proper competition. Sam Byram is doing well, Jaden Bogle, Isaac Schmidt. So yes, he works hard to find his confidence, his rhythm back, and he's on a good path. I like what I see at the moment in training, and I would say they're not too far away also from being able to start a game. But obviously after a long-term injury, it can't be possible to be there already at 100%. That's also quite normal.
And I don't know if you've heard this or at all, but Leyton Orient boss Rishi Wellens said he'd like to sign Sonny Perkins permanently. Is there anything at all you can tell us about Sonny's future?
No, because obviously I don't speak too much about players who are out on loan, because obviously they are also our players, of course, but I want them also not to disturb them and their loan spell with too many messages, and I don't like recalls and something like this. So it's more like it's important if we send someone out on loan, then it's important. That's more like what we want to see. Then is also that they are fully committed to their club and give their everything, and also in tough times when they have to fight because there's competition. Then it's also important to make sure that they face it and grow by it, because it's also when you especially send young players out on loan, they have to face also sometimes when the odds are a bit against them, and this is also important for their development. And for that there are not too many comments on my side, because at the moment there's so much to do, and I want to focus on the players who are here around at Thorpe Arch, and we'll see what the future brings.
And finally from me, obviously Borja signs for Norwich. He won't be playing because of his suspension. Does his absence impact your sort of tactical preparations at all ahead of the game?
I don't think it changes too much the way Norwich plays, because obviously they replace him with a different player, but they don't change their whole approach, or not so much the tactical preparation, but yes, of course, also what we expect on which position. That's quite normal. Also, a player like Borja Sainz, who has scored many goals. Of course, you're aware of this player. Of course, when you have a player, for example, like for Sheffield Wednesday, it was Josh Winders, who has scored many goals in the recent weeks, and you highlight him even a bit more because he plays with confidence and a good rhythm. It's good when you don't have to highlight too many players of the opponent, but of course we speak also about the individual characteristics of the players who will be potentially in the starting lineup, and then obviously what we expect also on the position where Borja normally plays. Yes, of course he's an important player for them, but it doesn't change too much what we expect in tactical terms. Good. Thank you.